The call came just after midnight, a voice too calm for what it carried. "Mr. Hale, I'm calling from Weaver and Sons Law. It's about your father." I didn't answer right away. The silence between us stretched like static. "He's dead," the voice continued, "and you've been named the primary heir." A sound escaped me, half laugh, half breath. My father hadn't spoken my name in 20 years. The last time he did, it was from a stage, under chandelier light, with champagne in his hand and a room full of witnesses. "You're not my son," he'd said, smiling for the crowd. "You're a disappointment dressed as a man." I remember the clinking glasses, the applause, my sister's face, still and afraid. I left that night without looking back. Now, 2 decades later, a lawyer's voice was dragging his ghost back to life. "There's a letter," he said, "sealed. He wanted you to read it first." The next morning, I sat in his study. Dust floated through light that didn't belong to me yet. Everything smelled like cedar and arrogance. On the desk, an envelope with my name written in the same sharp handwriting that once signed my expulsion from his company. I didn't open it, not yet. Some truths rot slower when you let them breathe. My father built an empire out of control: oil, land, and silence. He called it legacy. I called it fear with a business plan. After he disowned me, I lived quietly. Small jobs, small rooms. Never his world again. I didn't attend the funerals that came after. Not my mother's, not my sister's first child's. I was a ghost, by his design. Now the lawyer's words replayed in my head. "He left your siblings $1 each. You get everything." That wasn't love. That was a message. I walked through the house, his house. Every portrait stared like judgment frozen in oil. Him with investors. Him with my siblings. Him without me. Then I saw it. One frame turned backward on the bookshelf. Dust-free. Intentional. I flipped it. It was us. The last photo before everything broke. His hand on my shoulder. My mother smiling, not knowing what he'd already done. He never moved on. He just buried me under his guilt. The letter waited, still sealed, still breathing. That night I began searching, not for closure, just context. The study drawers held decades of meticulous record-keeping, ledgers, correspondences, stock reports. But then, hidden behind a false panel, I found the file that didn't fit. A thick envelope labeled in my father's handwriting, "The Boys File." Inside, letters from my mother to him, unsent, torn, rewritten. One stood out, dated 2 months before my birth. "If you can't love him as your own, I'll raise him alone. But he's yours in every way that matters." I read it twice, then again. The phrasing, strange, defensive. And beneath it, a single note from my father, written years later. "Not mine. Never was." The words hit like ice in the bloodstream. I thought of that wedding, his voice cracking, not from rage, but relief. Was I the lie he'd been forced to live with? I finally opened the sealed letter. The handwriting was unsteady this time, older, stripped of pride. "If you're reading this, I'm already gone. I won't ask forgiveness. I never earned it. But know this, your mother lied to us both. You weren't mine by blood, but you became the only one who ever resembled me. The others took my name. You took my will." He continued, almost as if confessing to himself. "I gave them money all their lives. They became hollow. You took nothing and became something I couldn't control. That's why I hated you. That's why you get everything now." I sat for a long time. The house felt smaller, the air thicker. So that was the truth. I wasn't his, and yet he saw himself in me more than in the children he created. His final revenge wasn't against me, it was against them. He'd turned his own bloodline into beggars to crown an impostor. When the lawyers called for confirmation, I signed the documents without expression. Every property, every company share, every piece of his empire, mine now. Then I wrote to my siblings. One message, no emotion. I didn't take what was yours. He gave it to the son he wished he had. No reply ever came. Only silence, the same silence my father once weaponized. I understood then wealth was just another form of punishment. I didn't spend a cent. I let it sit, untouched, like a mausoleum. Now, years later, I live quietly again. Not rich, not poor, just free. The company runs under my name, though I rarely visit. The letter stays in a drawer I never open. People call it inheritance. I call it confession. He wanted to be remembered through power. I remember him through absence. The truth isn't that I won. It's that he finally lost control by giving me everything he built to keep me away. I am my father's final mistake, and his most perfect one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.